All right, hello, my name is Terrence Brown, and here is my culturally relevant lesson plan. All right, so, my lesson plan is about sixth grade math. The topic I'm focusing on in my lesson plan is area, and the lesson context and objective. So, the reason I chose this lesson plan is that shapes, area is all about shapes, and shapes exist everywhere in the world, and there's a lot of math that goes behind these shapes. One of the very interesting concepts is called area. And then by the end of the lesson, I want students in my class to identify shapes based on their unique properties, tell the difference between perimeter and area of a shape, and use the formula to find the area of the shapes. How is my lesson culturally relevant? So, 100% of the students in my class are Black, and a big part of Black culture is sports. So, by opening up my lesson with these questions, I am making my lesson culturally relevant because, being that sports is a big part of Black culture, asking my students have they been to a football or basketball game, most of them will answer yes. And if not, they probably will answer yes to being asked, have you ever watched a basketball or football game on TV? Uh, Another question I could ask is, what shape do the basketball court and football field resemble? And more than likely, 100% of them know that it is the shape of a rectangle. All right. So in my activity one, I will do a video from Math Antics. I will show the students this video so that they can get acquainted with the concept of area. And then I'll pause during the important parts and elaborate more clearly just to feed into their developing their understanding. Then in the second activity, I'll do stations by grouping the students by threes or fours, and then at each station, they'll have to answer these questions. They'll have a shape at the table, and they'll have to determine what the name of the shape is, how many sides the shape has, the measurements of the sides, what's the perimeter, and what's the area. And so there'll be 8 stations, and 4 groups will go rotate from 1 through 4 stations, and then groups 5 through 8 will rotate between stations 5 through 8. Students will be grouped based on their performance in the pretest. So all 8 groups will consist of 1 strong student and 2 or more struggling students. During the activity, the stronger students can help struggling students understand concepts better. This is known as peer assisted learning. Materials in my lesson will be a paper with the image of a shape, either a square, rectangle, triangle, or parallelogram, a ruler, and then those index cards with the questions on them that I explained previously. Some material that will reinforce my lesson are iReady, and I can show you what iReady is right here. If we go to this website, it'll give us a rundown of what iReady is about, or I can just explain it. It's like you take a diagnostic, and from the diagnostic, iReady comes up with a personalized instruction plan so that students can not only learn on grade level content, but they can work on previous grade level concepts that they did not master previously. So it can do a lot to help with learning gaps. Also, we have USA Test Prep, and what this is a website with questions that are specifically aligned to K-12 standards. So that does a lot to help with assessments. All right, last but not least, challenges that, or not last but not least, but challenges that students may have is that they might be struggling with the stations. And if they're struggling, me or the co-teacher can walk around the room and tackle 2 issues at a time. For the struggling students, I will communicate with parents and suggest that the student practice more on iReady and on the USA test prep. And also, if the students don't perform well on my exit tickets, then I will adjust my lesson plan to include an extra day on the lesson. And I said this already, but students that have troubles at the stations, either reading or understanding the concept of what the assignment is, I can have these stronger students uh, help them with that. But the overall impact that I would like for my class to have after my lesson is that I want them to become more aware of the math behind shapes and how often they see shapes in the real world. Like, for example, taking a look at this picture, there are a bunch of shapes that you can make out. So, why don't you try identifying shapes that appear in the image below? But that's all I have, and I hope you have a great day.